A drug that used to take 10 years and billions of dollars to design just got created by AI in 9 months for under 50 million. And that's not a one-off fluke anymore. It's becoming the new normal in pharmaceutical labs around the world. So here's the thing. When you think about drug discovery, you probably imagine scientists in white coats mixing chemicals in beakers, running experiments, failing, trying again. That process is real, but it's also incredibly slow and wasteful. A typical drug takes about 12 to 15 years from lab concept to pharmacy shelf, costs somewhere between $2 and $3 billion, and most candidates fail along the way. The numbers are brutal. For every 5,000 compounds a pharma company tests, maybe one makes it to market. But AI is changing that equation in a really fundamental way. And I'm not talking about AI writing essays about medicine. I mean AI actually designing the molecular structure of new drugs from scratch. Here's how it works. Drug design is basically a search problem. You've got a disease, let's say cancer or Alzheimer's, and you need to find a molecule that can interact with a specific protein in the body to fix the problem. The molecule has to fit the protein like a key in a lock, but it also has to be stable. It has to not be toxic to other cells, and it has to be possible to manufacture. The chemical space of possible molecules is literally astronomical. We're talking 10 to the power of 60 possibilities. That's more molecules than there are stars in the observable universe. Traditionally, chemists would use intuition, trial and error, and some computational help to narrow down the search. But it's a needle in a haystack problem, and humans are slow at it. Now, AI models trained on millions of known molecules, and their properties can predict which new molecules will work before a single test tube is involved. These models learn the patterns, the rules of chemistry, from existing data. Then you feed them the target protein and the constraints, and the AI generates candidate molecules. Not just one, hundreds or thousands of promising options. In days. Let me give you a concrete example that actually happened. A company called Exscientia used AI to design a molecule for obsessive-compulsive disorder. The AI identified a lead candidate in just 4 months. A human chemist team working on the same problem would have taken 4 to 6 years. The molecule is now in clinical trials. That's real. Another one, DeepMind's AlphaFold, isn't directly designing drugs, but it's solving the protein folding problem, predicting the 3D shape of proteins, which is the first step in understanding what molecules will bind to them. That breakthrough alone has accelerated the entire field because now researchers know the exact shape they're trying to fit a key into. And then there's the speed multiplier effect. Once an AI has designed a promising molecule, it can also predict how that molecule will behave in the body, what side effects it might have, how it'll be metabolized. It's not perfect, but it shrinks the experimental space dramatically. Researchers can skip the obvious dead ends and focus their lab work on the most promising candidates. But here's where it gets interesting and a little complicated. AI is really good at finding molecules that fit the math. But drug design isn't just math. There are edge cases, rare side effects, manufacturing quirks, and things we don't fully understand yet. So AI is most powerful when it's working with human chemists, not replacing them. The AI does the heavy lifting on the search, and the humans apply intuition and domain knowledge to the results. There's also a speed-to-market question. Even if AI cuts discovery time in half, clinical trials still take years. You can't skip safety testing just because a molecule was designed by an algorithm. So the real impact we're seeing is in the ability to tackle rare diseases and urgent problems where time matters most. A rare genetic disorder that affects 10,000 people worldwide might never have gotten a drug candidate before because the ROI wasn't there. But if AI can design a molecule in months instead of years, and the cost is a fraction of what it used to be, suddenly that market looks viable. The economics are shifting too. Pharma companies are starting to think about drug design the way software companies think about code. Iterate fast, fail cheap, learn from the data. That's a total culture shift from the traditional model of betting billions on a single blockbuster drug. Now, there are real concerns worth mentioning. If AI makes drug design faster and cheaper, that could democratize it in ways that are both good and dangerous. Good, more diseases get treated. Dangerous, misuse becomes easier. There are already conversations happening in biotech about how to keep this technology from being weaponized. That's a whole other video, but it's real. The other thing to know is that this is still early. We're in the phase where AI is augmenting chemists, not replacing them. But the trajectory is clear. In 5 years, most new drug candidates will have been designed or at least screened by AI. In 10 years, it might be unusual for a human to design a drug from scratch without AI assistance. That's not science fiction. That's the direction the industry is moving right now. So the takeaway is this. AI isn't just changing how we work or how we get information. It's changing the pace of actual scientific discovery. It's compressing timelines that have been locked in for decades. And in medicine, that compression means sick people get treatment faster. If you want to stay on top of how AI is reshaping the real world, not just the hype, but the actual breakthroughs that are changing industries, subscribe. I break down one of these every few days, and you'll actually understand what's happening instead of just reading headlines.